In the previous lesson, we explored the mechanism behind the Dunning-Kruger effect, the link between skill and self-evaluation. Now we move from theory to structure. The original research divided participants into 4 performance quartiles, 4 equal groups based on objective test results. This model matters because it shows something more nuanced than the simple idea that low skill equals high confidence. The pattern is not binary, it is distributed. A quartile simply divides a population into 4 equal parts: the bottom 25%, the lower middle group, the upper middle group, and the top 25%. Participants completed objective tests and then estimated how well they performed compared to others. The gap between actual performance and perceived performance revealed the distortion. The bottom quartile performed poorly, but many of them estimated their performance as average or even above average. This created significant overestimation. The second quartile still showed slight overconfidence, but less distortion. The third quartile demonstrated stronger performance and more accurate self-assessment. And the top quartile, the highest performers, often slightly underestimated their relative rank. This created what became known as the miscalibration curve. But the key insight is not that low performers are wildly delusional. It is that calibration improves with competence. Why does the bottom quartile overestimate? Several mechanisms contribute. First, lack of error detection. If you don't fully understand the rules of correct performance, your mistakes don't feel like mistakes. Flawed reasoning can feel coherent. Second, limited comparative awareness. Without exposure to higher standards, self-evaluation happens within a narrow frame. Third, partial knowledge. Surface familiarity creates cognitive fluency, and fluency feels like mastery, but recognition is not the same as deep understanding. Now consider the top quartile. Why do high performers slightly underestimate? Because expertise changes perception. As knowledge increases, awareness of complexity increases. Experts see nuance, ambiguity, and edge cases. Greater understanding reduces overconfidence. There is also something called the false consensus effect. When performance feels natural to you, you may assume it is natural to others. This can make your relative ranking seem closer to average than it actually is. Interestingly, the most important group is not the top or the bottom. It is the middle. The second and third quartiles represent most people in real-world settings. Here, partial competence meets partial calibration. This is where growth accelerates. Enough skill exists to detect some mistakes, but enough limitation remains to create distortion. The middle is where self-awareness develops fastest. One of the most powerful findings in follow-up research is this. When participants improve their actual performance through training, their self-evaluation accuracy improved as well. This is critical. The Dunning-Kruger effect is not permanent. Calibration is trainable. As skill increases, metacognitive accuracy increases. Skill strengthens self-assessment. Later statistical critiques refined some aspects of the curve, noting effects like regression toward the mean. But these refinements do not erase the central insight. Performance and self-evaluation are correlated. Low competence reduces evaluative accuracy. High competence improves it. It is also important to understand that overestimation is not the only distortion. Underestimation can also be harmful. Excessive self-doubt can reduce initiative, limit opportunity, and prevent growth. Calibration is not about lowering confidence. It is about aligning confidence with competence. Inflated confidence and deflated confidence are both misalignments. So ask yourself, in one domain of your life, professional expertise, leadership, communication, financial decision-making, emotional regulation, what defines high performance objectively? Where do you realistically fall? What evidence supports that estimate? And how often do you seek comparative feedback? The goal is not to assign yourself a quartile. The goal is to examine whether your confidence reflects measurable reality. The mirror is becoming clearer. In the next lesson, we will examine why recognizing our own mistakes is cognitively difficult. even when the evidence is right in front of us.